Hello, I'm Vicki LaRoe with Create and Adorn. Thank you for selecting this video. On this channel, we are all about showing you how to make contemporary modern jewelry designs using minimal techniques, minimal materials, and minimal time. So if that sounds like fun to you, I hope you'll consider subscribing. This is a quick tutorial showing you how to make this lovely, easy leather bracelet that I think looks super expensive, but is very easy, very pretty. Sorry, it's getting dark here really quickly, but I wanted to get this video out because I just love it. So I'm going to try to get a little close up. We've used a beautiful textured chain, and then I've used a black and a metallic silver leather woven through it, and create a little tassel, and then put a clasp and some little clots at the end. So I'm going to show you how I did this. Super easy, and like I said, really affordable. You can use any heavy link. This is a really pretty textured link. I can leave a link for it down below to our website. We have it by the foot or half foot. So because you only need about, well, it depends how big, of course, you want to make it, but 6 or 7 inches. And then when you add a clasp, it'll be about another inch or so. So it just, of course, depends on the length that you need. And then the leather cording, I have a yard of each color. I'm using a yard of each color, and then just any kind of clasp. And I love the look of this. You could easily make this a little more masculine looking, maybe by changing out the clasp, maybe losing the tassel or shortening it. You could even make it a little dressier or a little more feminine or girly if you wanted to, by adding some beads on the tassel or something. So there's many variations that you could do with this, but I think it's a really lovely bracelet that looks like $1,000,000. And especially with the holidays coming up, this is such a simple gift idea for someone. And at least I'd like to give people an idea of cost, at least on our website. That chain is like $5.50 a foot. You could buy it by the half foot. So that's like $3, and that's $3. There's, I don't know, $10. So less than $10, you know. But you can also find probably similar materials at a craft store, I'm sure. So what I'm going to do is tip my camera phone down so you can see my hands for a second to start this little weave, and then I'll just show you kind of how the weave goes. It's very easy. And then I have another one done in gold, in little gold and black and bronze colors too. If you're not a silver person, I've got a gold option that needs to be finished off. So I'll show you how the weave works and then how to finish it off. So first thing I'm going to do is tip you down here. So let's go for a ride. Whoops. Okay, I'm going to scoot this out a little bit so you can see. Okay, so here's our chain. I've got about 7 inches of this little chain. These links open, which is really nice. If you needed to shorten it or something like that, you could. Now, what I'm going to do is pin down one end of it through that first link, just so I can have a little leverage. You surely don't have to do this, but I think it helps. So if you have a little pin and either a cardboard or some kind of pad that you can pin it to, I think that it helps at least to get the weave started. And then I'm using a yard of 1mm black leather and a yard of 1mm silver metallic leather. And I just like the color combination. You could do both silver, both black. You could do pink. I mean, leather comes in lots of colors. Again, I'll leave a link to our website below if you can't find the colors of leather where you are. But I really love working with it. So I have a yard of each color. What I'm going to do is take these 2 ends together and go through that first link, that one that's pinned down, and I'm just going to bring them till they're even, till I've got the center, right? Then all we're going to really do is cross these through each link. These 2 first, then the next 2, through every link, then the next 2, then the next 2. So the only thing to kind of watch is that because these links, because we're going through every link, that means every other one kind of turns, the opposite direction. So I just kind of choose the most natural looking direction. And I'll explain what I mean here in just a sec. So I took the first two and went through the next link. Then I'm going to take the other side, 2 pieces, and I crossed through that very same link. Right, so let me pull all these so it doesn't look like such a mess. And now those are crossed through that second link, right? So I'm going to do it again. And see how every link is turned the opposite direction from the previous one. So when I'm going to start with my right side, and I'm just going to go the most natural direction, which for this third link is just straight down as opposed to going up and under. So I'm going to take those 2 straight through here. Oops, comes unpinned. Sorry about my hands in the way, just got to be able to pull her through. And sometimes the leather likes to get curled on itself here. Okay. There we go. Then I'm going to take the next side and crossing those 2 through the very same link, just in the opposite direction, right? Yeah, that pin works great, Vicki. Let me pull this through first. I'm going to pin it again. Maybe use something more secure. You don't pin, or you don't pull as hard as I do. Okay. Crossed through. Right, so those are both crossed through again. I'm going to take those 2 together again. Again, I'm going to go in the most natural direction, which is just straight down. My leather is wanting to curl on me today. That's okay. Okay. And I'm going to take the other side and cross it, or always make sure I'm going in the opposite direction as the first 2. And I'm not going to do all these. Like I said, I just wanted to show you how the weave works. It's super easy. Okay. And you would know if you like accidentally do it the wrong direction, or it gets tangled up or messed up, or go. I mean, you'll be able to tell because it'll look like something's off. Just easy to back it out and redo it, right? And like any weave, if you've done anything like this before, it really does get easier the more that you do, because everything's starting to kind of naturally fall into place. Okay, so hopefully that gives you kind of an idea, and you would just really all the way down for all of them, and I think it just makes a really pretty look. That's what it looks like when it's all done. Except we need to finish it off, right? Because when we started it, that's the starting end, but then we're going to finish them off. So I think, yeah, we'll just leave the camera tip down for right now. So here's the gold one. I did with a gold chain and then a bronze and black cord. So I've crossed it through the very last link, right? And so I've got 4 tails. I'm going to take them all together, and I'm going to tie them all. I took all 4 together. I'm going to tie them all into a knot. Not just one, so there's one, right? You see that knot. Take all 4 tails and put it through again. It's a little double knot, so it's going to look like this, right? It's going to purposely look like we've wrapped the tails through twice. Okay? Then you're going to tighten that knot just right all the way up to that last link. And as you do this, leather's so soft and malleable and pliable, and I'm sorry if my fingers are in the way a little bit, but as I'm doing this, I'm pushing it, I'm kind of shaping it into a little squatty, almost bead shape. And if you have any kind of loops or anything out here, right, then I'm going to pull on each one individually, really gently, to take care of any little loose loops. And then I've got that really sturdy looking knot. If I didn't wrap it twice through, then it would look just like you would imagine, and it's not very pretty. And it wouldn't be very centered. It would be kind of kinky off to one side, right? I'll do these real quick just so if I just took 4 and knotted it once, so here's one knot. It looks like this where it's kind of wonky to one side, right? I'm only getting this nice kind of stacked, I call it a bead, a leather bead, a stacked little pretty centered knot because I did that double wrap, right? Okay. Then I'm going to, maybe I'll attach a clasp first. Now, in that one sample, these links open like I mentioned, so I just opened them to put the toggle clasp on. This one I'm going to do a little lobster claw. Except these links open right up just like jump rings. I'm going to use 2 chain nose pliers or 2 whatever pliers you have. Open it to the side just like a jump ring. I'm going to put on that lobster claw. Close it right up flush. And that's it. I'm in business. Now, I can attach another link here. That wouldn't be a bad idea. So I can make room to put it through there. So I've got my little lobster claw in there, and I could, like I said, I could have left that last link empty. That would have been kind of good probably, or to even leave another link. But so to finish these off the way I did here, I'll show you. I used what's called a culotte, and it's, I think I'm going to tip you back up again. You're like, this is a very, I actually teach jewelry professionally, believe it or not. Okay, just normally not on camera. A culotte is a little cup, a little metal cup, opens to one side with a loop on top. Normally, or I should say traditionally, they're made to cover a knot. So if I was doing something with silk, or I just had strung a necklace that I could not, so something that is more of a cord as opposed to a wire or stainless steel, but something I made a knot in the end, and that little cup can go right over that knot, and then I've got a loop so that I can attach a clasp, right? Beautiful. Well, and that's what they're made for. I'm going to cut that little loop off. So even though the loop was there purposely, I'm going to take a pretty heavy cutter and cut that loop off on purpose. You're like, what? Okay, then here's my little tassel. All I'm going to do is cut these cords. There's nothing else to do with them. To cut them in whatever lengths you want. And I'm going to kind of vary them. And always better to leave longer than shorter, right? But I've cut them so they're all little different lengths. And I'm going to take the culotte and I'm going to put it on top of my crimping plier. I don't know if you've seen my other videos, but like crimping pliers were made for crimp tubes, but I use them for a bazillion other things. Okay, so in the top of my crimping plier, I'm going to put that culotte that now doesn't have a loop on it anymore, right? Because I cut the loop off. So, sorry about the dogs. But I do have it in the top of my crimping plier, the little cupped part. All I'm going to do is put it right over the end of my leather. And I'm just hanging on to that really gently. And then I'll squeeze it on the end. See? Boop. And now I've got a fancy little end. Right? So I'll take my next one. So there's no need to, like, you can put a knot at the end of those, or cute. There's lots of ways to do it. You don't have to do it this way. I just think it looks a little more finished. So there's my culotte again. And it doesn't have a loop on it. So I've got it in the top of my crimping plier with the cup facing up, I'm going to place the end of my leather cord over it. Boop. There's my next one. I guess you don't have to make the sound effects. There's my next one. 3. And if you can't find a clot or a B-tip or whatever, again, I can leave links to our little all of our findings on our website, or just some little packages. I have 10. They're very inexpensive, very affordable. And that's it. They crimped right on there. See how pretty? So simple. Right, and it just has a nice finish to it. The only thing I'm going to do with this is add another link from the chain, so it can link into there a little nicer. But that's using the lobster claw, or the toggle clasp. Either works. So it's just any like heavy link chain, 2 yards of leather, any kind of clasp you want to use, and then I use the little culottes on the end, or you could tie knots or beads or something like that too. But that is it. Very simple. I love giving like about approximate cost. Did I already do that? Like probably less than $10, around $10 or so to make it super easy. Very pretty. So pretty. It looks so expensive. It's like David Yurman, right? He's a jewelry designer. So, our company. So beautiful. Anyway, thank you so much for joining me. Like the video if you liked it. Subscribe if you're not subscribed. I'm here every week with new jewelry designs that I love to share with you. And until we see each other again, go out there, sparkle brightly like the star that you are. Mwah. Peace.